Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to the videos of the paid request. It's time for Walker, who wanted me to react to another one of his rankings. Thank you for that and for your generosity. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it. PayPal's usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Links are down below in the info box. I do have a CashApp because people have asked me about that. Again, all are down below, or to the side wherever the info box is nowadays on YouTube. So thank you, Walker. I appreciate that. I'll get to you others as soon as I can. They wanted me to react to his rankings of the Leatherface actors from least favorite to favorite. Please read notes in parentheses. Okay. Number 7, Robert Jacks from The Next Generation. He's extremely silly and laughable and cringeworthy as a character. I know he's a killer, but how can I be scared of that? I can't blame him for saying that, yeah. I can't blame him for saying that. He would definitely be one of my least favorites. Number 6, Bill Johnson. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Scarier, but still silly and not that intimidating. I did silly, but to me that was on purpose, and I thought that was actually, for that film, fit for what they're trying to deal with. I disagree with intimidating because, like, that jump scare when he comes out and is chasing Stretch down the cave system and then the third act, and I think some of that stuff still works very well. But granted, I think a lot of that wasn't Bill Johnson, it was another actor, because the guy didn't want to use the chainsaw. So whoever that actor's name was, I forget his name, probably the credit should give to him. So I would put him higher. I don't think he's that low. Number 5, Dan Yeager, Texas Chainsaw 3D. I appreciate him being a scarier, more serious Leatherface, but he has turned into a sympathetic villain, and the scare factor is less, plus the look is alright, but not the best. The actor still does a nice job playing him like he was in the original film. I don't agree with that. I would put him low on the list. I would say Robert Jacks, that generation is worse, but he'd be probably the, I don't know, second or third worst to me. I mean, just the way he looks with the Farmer John, Farmer Bob, Farmer John, outfit, overalls, like he's ready for hee-haw. I didn't care for that. I didn't think he was scary at all. I didn't think he was intimidating at all. And yeah, the sympathetic angle that they went for in the script was really ridiculous in my opinion. Yeah, I murdered a bunch of people and ate them, but I'm a good guy, trust me. Or sympathetic, whatever. No, nah, not in my world. Not in this dojo. So, that actor, that portrayal, I didn't care for at all. Plus, that movie's a really crappy-ass movie. Can't even tell time. It's supposed to take place 20 years, so it was like in the 90s, I guess. But at the same time, it has smartphones and all this stuff, technology of 2012, 2013 when it came out. Where the cop is literally like, I'm going to talk to my superior as, going down the... Whatever. Number 4, R.A. Mihailoff. He's not the most memorable, but I give him credit for being a total villain and not sympathetic. Yeah, I mean, that'd probably be where I would put him. I thought he did a decent job as Leatherface. The third film is okay. It's not amazing, but, it's not horrible either. I like the third one for what it is. Number 3, Mark Burnham, Chainsaw Massacre 2022, very steer and arguably the smartest Leatherface. Well, number 1, I don't know how he's the smartest Leatherface. I don't see that at all. I definitely don't think he was scary. It's about as scary as Frankenberry. And that's one of the worst Chainsaw Massacre films, and honestly, he was one of the most forgettable Leatherfaces, honestly. I would put him low on the list because he was the most forgettable. Like, Bill Johnson and whoever else, I don't think he was forgettable. I think he was still memorable enough. Mark Burnham, I thought he was completely forgettable as Leatherface. Anybody could play that role, could have done what he did, and I honestly don't remember a damn thing about his performance as Leatherface. I really do not. Granted, I want that movie scraped out of my brain, But yeah. Now, Walker, your stuff was cut off by PayPal because you left a. That's the thing. If you try to write too much on PayPal, it's not going to send the whole message, man. I did tell him this before. He's like, oh, okay, but he did it again. So I don't know what all you wrote. Because it stopped at Gunnar Hansen at number 2. I almost had him at number 1 because of how unique this character was, and nobody ever to you. That's where it ended. But I guess about how nobody ever quite played him like him. And obviously, number 1 would be the guy he didn't say, Andrew Bernardi from the remake and the beginning. I mean, I disagree. I think Gunnar Hansen is easily number 1. He was the originator. Like you mentioned, he was the most unique. And he just had the most real quality to him. Just the way how Toby Hooper shot him, the way he looked, his mannerisms, where he's like being so confused that people keep coming out, and he has that bit where he's sitting in the chair, and he just, you don't know where he's going, you know what he's going to do next, but he's like, he's scared, confused, where's all these people coming from? You know, the whole in the dinner scene, the dance at the end, he's just the most memorable. He's the one that stands out the most in terms of his performance, his movements, and the way he played the character. To me, he's easily number 1. I would say he's number 1 for me. Number 2 is Bill Johnson, the actor who played him in part 2. And then part 3, I would say Andrew Bernardi. Because I like the remake. I do. I do not like the beginning. I think that's a dumb as hell movie with one of the dumbest endings in a long time. But the third one, Andrew Bernardi, he definitely felt the most intense. Graham, because the guy in real life is a complete asshole on roid rage. So he probably had that as Leatherface. That's why he seemed like the... I mean, mysterious. I could see that where he seemed like the more meathead of Leatherface. Because again, anytime he's on the set, he's probably on roid rage. So he's the one I'd be... I don't want to be in any of the Leatherface movies because I don't want to die. But if there's one I'd be the most leery about, it would be Andrew Bernardi, because Leatherface with steroid rage that's a scary combination, and that's what Andrew Bernardi would have and showcase, especially in the remake in 2003, which I do like the film. I like the film. The first one, the original, is still the best one, but I like the remake. I do. I saw it in the theater, saw it at home. I like Jessica Biel. I like some of the shots. I like the way the film looks. I prefer the look of the first film, but I like the way that it looks. I like Arlie Ermy. I like the remake. So, and Andrew Bernardi, I don't think did a bad job in that role. So I would say Gunnar Hansen's 1, Bill Johnson's 2, Andrew Bernardi's 3, Ari Mihailov is 4. Then I guess I would say... I guess Mark Burnham is 5, because I don't remember a thing about him. 6, Dan Yater, because I hated that they tried to make his Farmer Bob hee-haw overalls. He'll be 6. And then Robert Jack, 7. He was the goofiest, silliest, dumbest Leatherface in any movie. Transvestite from Transylvania and Waco, Texas. I don't know. I hate it, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I agree that Gunnar Hansen, Andrew Bernardi, Ari Mihailov should be in the top 5. Disagree with Mark Burnham. I agree Robert Jazz being the worst. So, I would switch Bill Johnson and Mark Burnham. I think Mark Burnham is much lower, and Bill Johnson would be much higher. At least for me. That's just my opinion. But a lot of those movies suck anyway. I mean, I could watch the first 3 and the remake. It's pretty much it for me. Actually, you know what? There's someone missing. Leatherface. I don't blame him because I forgot about it until I'm like, well, wait a minute. He missed the prequel Leatherface, the one with Stephen Dorff. I don't blame him because I forgot that movie existed until just people. Wait a minute, where's that movie? Well, like the actor who played him. I agree. So again, Walter missed it, and I don't blame you, Walter, because I missed it as I'm doing this. I'm like, well, wait a minute, yeah. So there should be another on this list. I guess. Where would he be? Pretty low. I wouldn't say he's the worst, but he's like Mark Burnham in Chainsaw 2022. I don't remember a damn thing about him. He's so inconsequential in my mind. So I guess in the same realm as Mark Burnham. Whatever I put him at, I'll put that guy at as well. Because I don't remember a damn thing about him. So I would still say I like Gunnar Hansen, Bill Johnson, Andrew Bernardi, and Ari Mihailoff over those guys. So, but Robert Jackson, that's still the worst one to me. But that's just me, my thought process. So with that said, thanks for watching. Thanks once again, Walker, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.